Hey y'all, it's Christy Cook from Teadoddles. I'm back. I haven't done a podcast. It's been 3 weeks, basically. I didn't do one the past 2 weeks. Life has been very busy. So I'll talk about a little bit coming up. But first, I would like to say welcome back, subscribers. And welcome all new subscribers. I noticed that I'm up to, I think it was 276 the last time I looked at it, which is wonderful. I appreciate all the subscribers. It's so neat to know that many people want to listen to what I have to say or join me in my crafty adventures, so to speak. I have a lot to share with y'all today because I have been gone for so very long. I've still been busy, very, very busy, as I said before. So I guess we'll just get into it so we don't have to, well, first, I made my list. I gotta remember. If you're looking for me on any social media, just look for Teadoddles. That's what I am if I'm on there. I'm on the main ones, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus is going away. Here on YouTube, I have a blog, I have an Etsy shop. Everything's under Teadoddles. Makes it easy, right? Got my good coffee today. My Be Yourself mug. It's an important thing to remember, right? All right, camera. I guess not focusing on me, right? You might not want to be focused on me. I'm looking very tired because I am tired. I just have well, this coffee is Donut Shop Holiday Buzz. I bought some over Christmas and I really liked it. And they had it on the clearance aisle at Walmart, so I got some of it, and that's what's in my cup today. With just my husband's hazelnut creamer because I am out of my stuff. I've got to go to the store. Yay. So let's just see. As I said, I am on Facebook. I also have a Facebook group called Teadoddles Makers. Why am I pointing like that? Teadoddles Makers. And I have a make-along challenge going along in there. The last Monday of the month, which that'll be this coming Monday, I post a new challenge for the month. And we're always working to to finish our UFOs. Our first challenge of the year was to clean up our spaces, which I did. It's back to mess again. I need to revisit that one. But it's so fun to be, everybody shows what they're working on and their spaces, and I just love seeing everybody's finishes, and it's so if that's something you're interested, you should check it out. I do have a giveaway going on in there every month. All you have to do is share what your UFO you're working on, and maybe if you're working on the challenge of the month, this month has been to do crafty stretches, which is just, as a crafter, you get into your work and you're all hunched over, and to remember to set correctly and hold yourself correctly and stretch, because it's hard to make if you're injured, right? So that's what this month's challenge has been all about. There will be a link down below. Instead of my show notes, I put all those kind of links. My social media links are down below in the thing down there, whatever it's called. I don't remember. But yeah, so if you like that, you can check it out. Like I said, I am having a giveaway in there every month. I draw a winner. You can win a $20 Amazon gift card. Not sponsored by Amazon, by the way. They are an affiliate of mine on the blog, but this is not sponsored by Amazon. This is just something I'm doing because I felt that would be easier since I have makers of all kinds in the group. And then you can buy whatever maker supply you need. So that is what's going on there. take another sip of coffee. Now, let's see. What else to talk about? So many things on my list today. I don't know where to begin. I just kind of wrote it down, but it doesn't mean it has to be in that order. I am trying very hard to get, it is like almost 12 o'clock, I think. Probably is 12 o'clock by now. On Saturday, I wanted to film this earlier. I thought I'd film it yesterday, and that didn't happen. So I can get it uploaded in a timely manner because I want to do the Zoom chat tonight, which I assume is still going on. I have to check. I haven't seen anything about it yet, but I'm really enjoyed doing that. I did it a couple weeks ago. Sometimes they're recorded and put up on Melody at Stitch to My Lou. That's her podcast. She's the one that hosts this. It's just like a video chat with a bunch of, well, there's podcasters on there, but there's people who subscribe. Really anybody can participate that wants to. It's called Sit and Stitch, I believe, and you can crochet or what have you while you talk to other people that do that. It's like a yarny friend group, I guess. It's quite fun because I don't have any crochet groups, quilting groups, or anything near me at all, so it's nice to sit and talk to other people who enjoy the craft. So I'm hoping to make it to that this evening. That is my goal, my ultimate goal. My husband is going to a monster truck show in Albany, which I had thought about going with him, but his daughter pre-purchased tickets for everyone, and she only purchased one for him because she didn't know I wanted to go. So they're all sitting together. So they'll just go and enjoy that, and then I can have my time with my yarny friends. That'll be fun. So that's my goal. So this may not post until Sunday morning. I hope that doesn't happen. If it does, I'll have put a message on my, there's a message thing on YouTube, but I don't know if anybody ever sees it, but I'm going to put it on there anyway. So if it doesn't come out till Sunday, I apologize about that, but I tried to get to it as soon as I could. Let's see. What do I have down here? Okay. This week on the blog, I did, let's see, Monday's post was, well, it was technically went out on Tuesday. And I do a Pinterest challenge every week. Not every week. Every month with my Pinterventures. She hosts this. It's like a linky party. It's not a blog hop, it's a linky party because you put your link in, all the people who participate, you can click on the different ones and see what they did. And the purpose is to pick something from your Pinterest board that you want to actually make instead of just saving it. So that's kind of fun because I get to try new crafts. And this month I decided I had several different kinds of pins for making feathers. I chose to do the ones with fiber arts. And they were a little more time consuming than I thought, but I'm going to show you my little, let me take them apart because that's going to be there. So the first one I did was out of denim. And I will, in my show notes, I will link to that blog post because it has all the links to where I got these actually from. This particular piece of denim had embroidered flowers on it, and I love that I was able to keep that on there. It's really cool. And normally I would show this with either my Yarny Goodness or Fabric Obsessed, but I have things made of yarn and fabric, so I figured I'd just share what I did on the blog in the beginning. That makes sense? Anyway, so next, this one is a fabric one, which I think this one is my favorite. Yeah, something's on it, but this, there we go. Now I did this a different than the blog post I took it from because I did the sewing part in the middle on my machine instead of gluing and hand sewing. And to get that fluffiness, all you're doing is taking out threads in the fabric, but it takes so long to do that, to make it, to get it, you know, looking good. You can't just rip it out. That's what's so time consuming about this. They look really cool though. Like I said, that one is my favorite. Now this one right here took even longer. This one is made with embroidery thread. It's got fuzz from my other one on it. And there we go. Yeah. Yes, I tied individual strands of embroidery floss all along this. That took so long, y'all. I had to take a break from it. It looks really neat, but I don't know that I'm going to make another one because it takes so long. And I think I'll probably be hanging these up in my mixed media frame that's on my mantle shelf. There's fuzz on it, but let's see. And this is the last one I did, and this one is a macrame one technically, but I didn't have macrame cord, so I used yarn scraps, and it's not, it doesn't look a whole lot like a feather. I'll pull this middle part up. There we go. When you lay it flat, it looks a little bit like a feather, but it's pretty fluffy. I just like it. So this is the one I showed y'all when I did my little short video earlier this week. So that was Monday's blog post. This one was really easy to make. This one's actually really easy to make. The other ones are very time consuming. I have more of the denim ones stuck together. I just have to pull out all those threads. And the cool thing about denim is if you pull out the darker threads, you get a white feather, and if you pull out the white threads, you get a darker feather. Pull out the white threads, you get a darker feather. If you pull out the darker threads, you get a white feather. I don't know, I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but so I do intend to do those at some point in time when I got nothing better to do. I got blurry. Come back, come back. Oh. There we go. It didn't want to focus. Okay, so that was Monday's blog post. Friday's, or technically it went out on Tuesday, but Friday's blog post was my February favorites. I like to do, I started a series last year sometimes where I do what I call favorites for the month, but it's really more about things I'm enjoying at the moment that bring a smile to my face. It's not about products necessarily. Sometimes it is, but it's just kind of a way for me to remind myself to appreciate the happy things in the month, if that makes any sense. So that link will be in my show notes as well. You can always sign up for my newsletter, which, speaking of the newsletter, currently my newsletter, I put that in quotations, newsletter, because it's not really a newsletter. It's just, if you sign up for Monday's posts, which are typically fiber art type posts, sewing, crochet, knitting, whatever like that, then you just get a link to the post. It goes out, right? It's not really a newsletter. So, and it's like that for all of them. So what I want to do is revise that. There's a piece of fuzz floating around in my face. To have an actual newsletter. So I haven't done it yet, and I'll have to send an email to my blog subscribers. But what I want to do is probably on Saturday send out an actual newsletter, which would kind of tell you things I've been doing, have links to all the posts for the week, and possibly a link to my podcast, some links to things that articles I'm enjoying reading, or like even maybe some fun crafty things I'm looking at. I enjoy reading newsletters like that. I don't know about y'all, but I enjoy reading that type of newsletter. So then I wouldn't send out an email every time I posted. That would be the newsletter for anybody. I don't know how everybody will feel about that, but that's what direction that's the direction I want to go in. So that's something I'm still working on. So that's something that's coming up on the blog. And then if you want to see when I post every day, you would have to follow me on WordPress or Facebook. I try to update it in my link tree on Instagram, because they go out automatically to those places. LinkedIn, I also send it out to that one. So, yeah, and the newsletter would be something you could read through and kind of find out what I've been doing for the week and some other things. It's kind of a written, it's not necessarily a written version of my podcast, because I talk about more things in the podcast, but just an actual newsletter. Let's put it that way. Okay. Moving on. Oh my goodness. I'm out of breath already, y'all. Let's see. I talked about that. I have a shop update coming. I have an Etsy shop. I have stitch markers and such in there, and I have what I call my maker bags, because most people use them for knitting or crochet, but I try to design them in a way that could be used for multiple things. I have some of my mini and small maker bags done. I haven't listed them in the shop yet because I want to do some more. So there is a shop update coming at the end of the month. I will share the bags I do have finished over here, and something else I'm working on in my Fabric Obsessed portion. I also will be putting the bags, many of the bags I have left in the shop are Christmas themed. So those will be going on sale once I update these. So look for that. I haven't done it yet, but that's coming. And the link to my Etsy shop is always down below. What else? What else? Oh, this week I watched a video from Llama Mama Kayla. She does loom knitting, and she interviewed her son Dakota, who also has a YouTube channel called Mr. Stitches, or Mr. Cross Stitch, not Mr. Stitches, Mr. Cross Stitch. So he was showing off some of his embroidery he does, which were patterns he made up himself. They were quite awesome, I have to say. I went and watched his video. I really enjoyed it, so I have subscribed to that. He also has an Etsy shop where he sells cross-stitch patterns that he designs. I've purchased several of those this past week. He has a sale going, I think he said to the end of February, because his birthday was in February. So y'all should go check him out. I'll have his links down below, not just in my show notes, okay? So let's see, he does, like, they're like little pixelated people. A lot of them are. And I bought one that was for the characters of The Big Bang Theory. It's a show I enjoy watching. He had one for Mr. Rogers that I brought, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I used to watch that all the time when I was a kid. Alice in Wonderland, I bought that one as well. And then there was one with Han Solo and Chewbacca and like the big ship in the middle. And I bought that one as well. I think that was all the ones I bought. He also designs needle minders, which they kind of look like a little enamel pen, but they're magnetic, so you can put your needle on it when you're embroidering. When you're doing embroidery or cross stitch or what have you. So I think he said he was going to be updating some more soon. I don't know. I didn't. There were 2 in there, but I'm waiting to see if he puts some more in there, because I'd really like to have one of those. So definitely go check him out. And that brings me to my next subject, because I had told him that last year I started an embroidery project on a window screen. I think I have shown it on here once or twice. But but it was part of the 100-day project on Instagram. And that is coming up in April. So, which is what made me think about it. The 100-day project is you pick something you want to do every day for 100 days and you post a picture about your progress on Instagram. Most of it's creative type things. I mean, it's anything. It's fiber arts, it's drawing, it's painting, it's pottery. It's, you know, I think some people even don't do creative things or writing. They do like personal goals. But it is more for the creative type, I guess, is what it's meant for. But you're only supposed to pick something that you can work on like maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day. It's not supposed to be overwhelming. So I've been thinking about what I'm going to do this year, and it made me think about what I did the past 2 years. So I'll show you what I did the very first year that I did it. I think you may have seen it on the back of my chair in my earlier videos, but this is what I did. Let's see if I got the spacing right. Yeah. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it all. I hope that's focusing. So this is, it's just a free-form crochet. I was trying to use up scraps, and I have scraps of all kinds in here. And I started in the center and started circular, and then at some point I went to a square and then back to a circle. You can kind of see, this is kind of the top of it because you can see that little flower thing up at the top, and also see where my stitches stretched out from it hanging on the back of my chair. And I haven't woven in any ends on this, so they're all hanging out. But so that's just like a piece of fiber art, really. I mean, my dog certainly does like it. He would try to get it off the back of the chair all the time, but he really loves crochet. So that's what I did the first year, and I just worked on it every day for 100 days. I added a few more things depending on what mood I was in. I was really dedicated to it that year. I finished with my long border, and so I quite enjoy this piece, but it's been in storage because I don't know, I need to figure out a way to hang it or mount it on something. It's quite large. So that's what I did the first year. Now the second year for the 100-day project, oops, I decided to do this, which is I haven't finished. I hope that's focusing. I can't tell, but this is a window screen that I purchased for 50 cents at the Habitat for Humanity. And then this is just freeform embroidery on it, okay? I started right here. This is where I started. Just doing different things, learning new stitches. The butterfly, I looked at a butterfly image online. Like, I looked up pictures of butterflies, and I drew it with my thread. So I didn't have a pattern for it. I did the same thing with the little gecko over here. And these are octopus tentacles. And that's where I stopped at. If you look, I've got little knots for the little suckers in there. And they were taking forever. Because I've kind of, as I got going on it, it kind of branched off. Like, I'm looking at this as like a desert portion, and this is an ocean portion, and this is going to be like a jungle portion. This one I haven't decided. I can't decide what I want it to be. So I haven't worked on it in quite some time, but I said I would share it because Mr. Cross Stitch said that he would like to see it because he had thought about doing this. What I will say is the main reason I haven't worked on it anymore is because it's cumbersome to try to hold that frame and stitch. The other issue is you can see through the fabric you're stitching on, which makes it a little difficult to tell what you're doing. And I would like to make, I have a small quilting frame over here that I would like to do something where I could sit that on a frame and then stitch, so I don't have to hold it as I'm stitching, because that just makes it more cumbersome. I wouldn't want to stitch on unfinished screening. I guess you could put tape around the edge and it would be okay, because it'll poke you if it's unfinished. But anyway, so this year for the 100-day project, I think I'm going to do a sewing project. I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm going to be working with my fabric scraps and making a scrappy block every day. But we'll see how that goes. And I'm just talking about strip blocks. I'm not talking about something that has to be specifically pieced a certain way. It would be a very freeform thing. I found it easier for this project to do a very freeform thing versus something very structured. So look it up on Instagram, the 100-day project. You can get emails about it as well, and it's a really fun thing to do, and you get to see makers of all kinds. So now, moving on down the list. I still haven't made it out of my life in admin yet, y'all. Good grief. I've been talking to Z from everybody knows who she is, Z Formation. I can't remember the exact name of her channel, but I'll put it up here. I think it's got some numbers and letters in it or something like that. And I'll put a link to her down below. I'm sure most of you know who she is. I've been talking to her an Instagram message, and she sent me her address because she got one of my Valentine's I sent out, which, by the way, I'm so glad that everyone enjoyed their Valentine. That was really fun to do, and I really enjoyed seeing everyone that shared a video sharing that, and I enjoyed the emails I got. Got a frog in my throat. Excuse me. I really enjoyed reading the emails I got from other people. And it makes me happy to give to others. And I think you should always give to others if it makes you happy. There are people who will take advantage of that, as I found throughout my lifetime. But I don't let that stop me from giving, because giving makes me happy. And if I let people who take advantage of that stop me from giving, then it takes away my happiness, right? And I'm not going to let someone do that. So I have in the past, and I shall not do that again. So anyway, just had to say that right quick. So anyway, she had a thing where you could buy some of her buttons basically and stuff, because she was saving up money to go to Stitches West, which is happening right now. And I did that, and I thought her package would be in yesterday, but it did not come in yesterday, so hopefully it'll be here today. And I'm excited to see that. What I did get in the mail this week is my Fibre Share package, which I was very excited to get. I signed up for Fibre Share. I'll put that right here, Fibre Share. You should check out. They have a website. They do this, I think they do this twice a year. I'm not completely sure. And I've been seeing it, and I'll see it in my Insta feed, and wanted to sign up. This first year I signed up. So what happens is you get a partner that you send to, and then you have a partner that sends to you. So you get to meet two new fiber friends, and they do crochet, knit, embroidery, spinners, weaving. You know, if you do anything with the fiber arts besides fabric, they do that. But I think the embroidery did say fabric was included, because you're supposed to send at least 200 grams of fiber to your partner. That is the main rule, basically. But everybody always likes sends out the goodies. Of course I do. And yesterday I sent my Fibre Share partner, because my Fibre Share partner is out of the UK. not going to tell her name because I don't know if she wants me to do that. But and the last day to ship was today, so I just did get that in. But I was waiting on something to come in I had ordered, and then I wound up not being able to put everything in it that I wanted to because I was trying to stay within a certain. It gets expensive to ship overseas, and I didn't do the tracking because that would have been even more. But so I bought a little more than I should have anyway. So I'll show you that later. I can't show you what I put in her package because I didn't take a picture, and she hasn't received it yet, so I wouldn't want to share it. So if she shares it and she is okay with me reposting her picture, then I will do that. But that afternoon, when I checked the mail when I got home from work, I had my package from my Fibre Share partner. My Fibre Share partner is from Florida. I shall not say her name either because I don't know that she wants me to do that, but I will show you what she got me. I was very excited. So I'm kind of showing you some things that maybe usually would be in my other categories, and I'm still going to have those categories coming, y'all. But it's because it's kind of mixed up. So anyway, let's see. First, we're going to start with the fibers she sent me. This is what she sent me. I got 3 skeins of this. I love the colors in it. This is, I've never heard of this before, but it's called Universal Yarn Infusion Hand Paints. It's 50% superwash wool and 50% acrylic. So, a very sturdy yarn. This is a number 3. I believe. Yes, this is a number 3. There is 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 291 yards, and 266 meters on each. So I actually got 3. So this is more than the 200 grams she had to send. So I appreciate that. So I got this, but there's all sorts of other goodies in there. Let's see. She sent me this. I've never seen these either, but it's like a charm bracelet thing. I guess you can collect charms to put on it. Sugar Lulu. It's got like a little bone clasp, which is kind of cool. So I got that. I also got this iron-on patch, which I could put that on a bag. Got these little tassels, which are cute, super cute. Those could go on bags as well. Oh, it's not gonna focus. There it goes. Then I got these beads, which are very pretty, like glass beads. And I got this vegan leather patch sticker, which is a feather. And you know, I love feathers, and I love the color of it. So pretty. And I got these 2 little bracelets. They're just little beaded bracelets. I got this necklace, which is very pretty. Well, let me... Oh, what is going on? There we go. It has this little shell charm on it. I really like that. Oh, there's so much stuff in this bag. I got this little shell necklace. It's got the you see these in Florida all the time, or anywhere near the beach usually. And I got one like this, which is just the beads, and then this really long one with all the shells on it. So yeah, and that's not all, y'all. Oh my goodness, I got all of these little things. I got 5 of them. I'll just show you. It looks like a little piece of candy, but it's a little bracelet bead kit in there. That is so cool looking. I've never seen these before, but I opened up one of them, And there's this little bag of beads, like different kinds of seed beads. I don't know if you can see that, but, and then there's some stretchy, where did that go? Stretchy thread. And then all of them have this little, looks like an eyeball to me, y'all. This little eyeball charm in the color that matches it. I don't think that's focusing very well on that, but I got like 5 of these. I just lost my, but I can't believe all of that's in that little tiny thing. That was really cool. So that was from my Fibre Share partner, and I really like it. I think that's really neat. What else was I gonna say about that? But there was like a lot of stuff in there. And some yarn, so that's it, makes it even better. So now let me try to get all my stuff out of the way. All right, goodness gracious, y'all, I'm past 30 minutes already, but I knew this would be a long one because I've been gone for 2 weeks. I mean, what do you expect? Or 3 weeks, kind of, really. So the other thing with Fibre Share, I ordered some Fibre Share swag, which is the shirt I am wearing, which I really like. It has a crochet hook, knitting needle, and it has regular needles and yarn, and it's got the FS for Fibre Share. I ordered a man's extra large, so it would be kind of loose and I could sleep in it if I wanted to. I don't generally, sometimes I wear shirts like this when I go out, but typically I wear shirts like this around the house. So I also got a button. Fibre Share button to put on one of my project bags. So that was super exciting and fun. So if you've never participated before, you may want to check it out. It's a little bit scary because you're like, ooh, what if I don't send somebody something they like or not? But it's still exciting and fun. So what next? Oh my gosh, I still got stuff on my list. So some things about why it's been so long since I've recorded. I am a an adjunct drafting instructor, which you may or may not heard me say before. And typically I work from 8 to 11:30 in a city that is 45 minutes from me. That's at the main college. And then I come home, mind you, it's a 45-minute drive back to my house, have me some lunch. Then I go to my afternoon class, which is in the town I live in, but I live 15 minutes out of town, so I have to drive there. And I teach at the high school, but I teach with the Move On When Ready program, which is with the college I teach for still. You get college credit while you're in high school, and that's what that's for. And that is from 1:30 to 3:30. All right, and then sometimes I have to go after school and run errands and all that good stuff, and then I can come home. So I don't work full-time. On Fridays, I don't have my morning class. But this week, not this past week, but the week before, one of my students and I went to, it's called the Windsor Hotel in Americus. It is a 126-year-old building, 4 stories. They needed someone to measure their stairs and hallways so they can get new carpet. Because they are partnered with Best Western, and they have to have a pattern that goes down the center and then goes out versus an all over pattern. So we were tasked with measuring this hallways and stairs. There's 2 sets of stairs. One set of stairs goes up halfway and it has a landing, then goes up the rest of the way to the next floor. The other set of stairs goes all the way up between the floors, and none of them are aligned. You kind of go down a hallway a bit or something and then go up, and then sometimes it's over here. And there are pilasters, which if you don't know what pilasters is, just a bump out in the wall, and doors, and you know the carpet went under the doors so much. I mean, this is it's beautiful. The architectural details in there are beautiful, but this is an old building, so nothing is straight. The walls are like this. The floors are like this. So we measured the first floor only had a couple of places that needed it. The second floor, not as much hallway as the third. The third floor had the most hallway, but then we had to do all the stairs. Of course, they have all these newel posts, and sometimes they're square, sometimes they're round. Anyway, it was quite the task. We spent 4 hours there one day just measuring. Most of that was stairs. And I had to leave, so I go to my afternoon class. So I didn't have a break in between. I had to go grab me some lunch and then go to class. The next day, we spent another 2.5 hours finishing up our measurements. And then my student, who is new to the architectural drawings, he had to translate all that into what's called AutoCAD. So we've been working on that for the past 3 weeks, because I work on it in my afternoon class, which I don't have as many students, so I don't have as many questions to deal with during the day. And he worked on it in the morning classes. So we're finally wrapping that up, and that was taking quite a bit of energy. Yeah, that was a tiring experience, y'all. And then I also, my dryer, well, it's been squeaking for a long time now. It's got to the point where it scrubs. You know, I really need a new dryer. I haven't gotten a new dryer yet. The past 2 weekends, well, no, not last weekend, but 2 weekends before, I had to take all my laundry to my parents' house and wash and dry it there, which takes up quite a bit of time. And one of those days, I took all my sewing things so I could work on bags for the shop in between washing. So that's always fun to have to load up things and take them somewhere else to do it. I managed to make it work this past weekend, and I will be making it work this weekend. And one of the reasons we haven't bought a dryer yet is because my son, the college that he goes to, I'm not going to get into all the details, but his financial aid has been messed up for over a year. And we have been trying to get this straightened out to no avail. I finally did have a conversation with people yesterday, and I think we are finally getting it worked out. But he had to move at the end of the year because they did away with school-sponsored housing. So he has to pay for rent as well as a MARTA pass to travel, because he had to move from upper Atlanta to midtown Atlanta to find rent he could afford. So we have been having to, I did what's called a Parent Plus loan that's supposed to help with his housing and all that stuff while he's in college. But things have not been going through like they're supposed to, so he didn't get his refund like he's supposed to. So my husband and I have been having to help him with rent. He does work, but he missed quite a bit of work when he came home over the break, so he wouldn't have to pay rent twice in 1 month. So he had to build that back up. But anyway, that has been a major stressor, because I felt like I kept trying to contact people and ask them what's going on and what's going on and what's going on and what's going on. Why is this not resolved? As you can imagine, that is very, very stressful and very annoying, no less. But I think we're finally on the way to getting that fixed. So that's kind of what's been going on the past 2 weeks. And I've just been tired. I did have to go. I also had a doctor's visit last week. Yes, last week I had a doctor's visit. So the week before I had a blood draw. For those that don't know, I don't have a thyroid anymore. I lost it to thyroid cancer almost 6 years ago. It's not been 6 years yet, but so I have to go at least, I had gotten it to where I could go just once a year. And you have to have blood drawn. And then I go see my endocrinologist, which is who you see if you don't have a thyroid. I went in October. My levels were too high. That means that your thyroid produces a hormone you can't live without, so you have to take a replacement hormone for the rest of your life. When the levels are too high, it revs everything up. It revs everything up. It revs your heart rate up. It revs, which can be dangerous. Give you a heart attack. Can give you a stroke. Because it controls your metabolism. So with that comes the fact that since everything's revved up so much, it makes you feel tired, or it makes you not be able to sleep. So when I'm extra busy, it interferes with all that. Anyway, my levels were too high, so I had to go back in February. And she changed my dosage, but it only dropped my number by 0.2, which is not very much. So I have to go back again in August in 6 months, which is never fun. But I'm gonna have my blood drawn at a minimum of twice a year. That's just all there is to it, people. But so when I went and got my blood drawn, I go to the health department and have my blood drawn because it's just cheaper. I really loved the nurse that I saw this time because they have a hard time getting blood out of me. My blood doesn't want to leave my body for some reason. And sometimes they stick me and blood will come out a little bit and then it just stops. Sometimes they have stuck me and nothing will come out. They have a hard time finding my veins. Anyway, this particular nurse, she said, I'm going to leave this on. And she's like, Pat, and she said, I know we're going to get it. We're going to get it. It's going to come up. And then she stuck me and the blood just came out like about this far. And then it went back in. I've never seen it do that before, but that's what happened. But she wouldn't give up on it. And she started moving the needle around, which typically when they start doing that, they'll blow out my vein. And I have a big bruise and it hurts really bad. And then they have to stick me somewhere else. But she's like a vein whisperer or something, because she did that and eventually she got it to come out and fill up the tube. And I had just a very small bruise, which I typically get a bruise either way. So that was just amazing to me. And I hope, I told her, I said, next time I come, I hope you are the one that takes my blood, because she's very good at it. Anyway, so I had to deal with all that this past couple of weeks. And so that's kind of why I just didn't have the energy or the time to record and edit and upload videos. So that's why I haven't done it. I don't like to record them super early because then I feel like I missed some things that may have happened during the week or whatever. But there we go. I think I am finally finished with my life and admin updates. So much stuff. Now we still have Yarny Goodness and Fabric Obsessed, which I have lots to show you. So